Make it happen, Captain. It's your show. I'm just here.
Thank you so much, though, for taking the time and joining.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me here. Seriously.
Of course. No, I really
You
appreciate
can
it.
hear me okay?
I can hear you perfectly fine. I didn't have to tell you anything. I thought I was going to, your mic. This is great. You don't know
I've been doing this.
I know. Listen, you don't know how many people come on and it's like, well, yeah.
A nightmare.
I'm like,
it's a nightmare.
Anything. I don't know what you're saying.
I see you. It's me. It's me. It's me. It's me. It's me, Shell, bitch.
Hey gente, welcome back to another week of the It's Me, Shelle podcast.
And remember, my job is to make your road to Friday a lot easier. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where in the world you are, mi gente. Welcome to another episode of the It's Me, Shelle podcast. It's your hostess with the mostest, Michelle S. And this week we have a guest. Y'all know we like to laugh over here. We love it. So please help me welcome the comedian, Darnell Morris.
Hello, Michelle. Now, let me ask you something. Is it Michelle or Michelle? Because I hear you say it two different ways.
So, my name is Michelle, right?
Okay.
But along my journey in life, people have been like, hey, Michelle. I'm like, oh, hey. I've always noticed since I was a child, hey, Michelle. Like, hey. Some people say Michelle. Some people call me Mitchell. Some people call me Michael. My favorite is Melissa. However, for sure, Melissa all the time. But people call me Michelle. And it just stuck with me. And also because the M-I in Spanish is pronounced me, like mine. So, Michelle. So I kind of just put it all together.
Listen, my ex-wife was Dominican. I don't need an education.
Wait, you said your ex-wife?
Yes, my ex-wife. I don't need an education. I flunked out already.
Oh, no. I'm sure you guys are like amicable, great term.
Actually, now at this point, yeah. I mean, we're talking about 2-3 years ago at this point. We have two beautiful little girls who are outside now. I make them wait in the rain while I do these interviews. But no, we're really good now. Hell, we're better now than we were when we were married, so I'll take it.
Isn't that how it works sometimes?
It was a journey. It was a journey. So when people look at me and they talk about, man, you don't know, don't talk to me. You don't know what I've been through.
Right.
48 jobs, a marriage, 2 kids. Let's go.
Damn, nothing stopping you.
Can. I mean, I don't know where you grew up. Where did you grow up? Whereabouts?
So I was born in the city, raised in the Bronx, in New York.
Okay. Well, I was born in Brooklyn, raised in Queens. I live in the Bronx now, but I lived all over, and I lived in Georgia for 10 years. But the bottom line is, when you don't come from much, you got to work for everything you get. Like when I hear people talk about a college fund, I just snicker to myself. I was like, I paid for everything out of my pocket while working. But I'm not even mad or upset about that. It was what it was for our family. But that type of struggle let me know, like, you got to have some struggle, right? So I've been homeless before, too. You got to go through something like that to realize I'm never going to be homeless again.
Yep.
You could even relate it to a relationship. You go through a bad, abusive relationship, you got to go through that to be like, I don't know about you, but I'm never going through that again.
Right.
So it built something for me.
Never.
I'm appreciative for every experience.
Oh, I love that. We humble over here.
Mad humble.
Yes.
I see comedians that ain't doing as well as me, just as cocky. I'm like, that's why you'll be calling me up, asking me to borrow money in a week. But okay.
And you're like, I might just say yes, just to spite you, to show you how to humble yourself.
No, that's not gonna happen. But I gotta let them know. I don't know. It was a weird point. There was a turn in Atlanta, and eventually everybody thought I had money. I was working for the radio station. I was doing comedy, so now I became an ATM. And I'm just telling them, I'm like, yo, I'm as broke as y'all. I just make it look better.
Hey, so we got to do what we got to do out here.
Ain't nobody gonna do it for us.
Right.
I'm looking for somebody to though. A sugar mama. Yeah.
See, I'm not allowed to talk about sugar mamas or sugar daddies because I'm married. I know I am married. Yes,
okay. What does that mean? Sugar daddies and sugar mamas died?
You know, Casey, I tell him all the time, I'm like, it's for the cause though. He just looks at me like, all right. I'm like, it's for the cause. It's for the greater good. You know,
listen, you're pitching it the wrong way. You're pitching it the wrong way. You got to turn to him and be like, do you really want to keep working this hard?
Right.
Boom.
And then he'll look at me like, you know what?
You might be onto something here.
With the start, you know what? All right, babe.
Then they're going to start drawing out rules. It's going to be fun.
Right. Like, okay, no, so not after midnight? No, okay, so he can't touch it? No, not yet. Okay, I got you.
You got to be respectful.
Oh, man, I love you, babe. When you watch this, just know.
I had nothing to do with this. I'm telling you that right now.
I'm like, it's too late. You're part of it now.
Nah, next thing I know, some 6'5" Dominican dude is at my door. I don't think so. And I'm in Washington Heights all the time. I'm not playing these games.
Really?
That's where my kids live.
No.
I'll be in the Heights. I'll be out in them streets.
You'll be on the streets. I think it's called Little Dominican Republic out here. That's all
I'm gonna tell you what though. I pick up my kids from school. It's the most joyful experience of my week. those Dominican moms, they come out there. You would think they were going to the gala,
right?
And I'm just here for the show.
Heels,
makeup. Oh my God! Well, listen, my little one, my 4-year-old Milan, she had their end of the year school play or whatever. I had to get out of there. You hear me? I was going to be on a list somewhere.
Oh no!
Some registered offenders list. I just said, don't invite me back to this, okay? Don't do this to me no more. You know I don't know how to act.
Right. You're like, forget it. I don't even want to come to her show anymore. I just want to pick her up, have some fun with her.
I really had to say, like, do I love her this much? She's putting my whole life in jeopardy.
Right. Well, you answered a little bit. Well, one of the questions I was going to ask you, where are you from? So you were born in Brooklyn. You were raised in Queens. Mm-hmm. You now live in the Bronx.
I claim Queens.
Do you now? Okay, let's go Queens. So you and Nas was like best friends, like that's where you.
Nah, Queens is big. Is big, but we did have a couple of celebrities. I mean, maybe you have to live in the area or you have to be a hip hop fan, but we had guys like Royal Flush. We had Mike Geronimo. We had the Flush and Flash. He was a lightweight boxer. Kevin Kelly, who actually went on to win the championship. I think we had 2 more rappers, and we actually have one. He's like a tech tycoon billionaire now. Mm-hmm. But I'm bringing that up because all of these people, the 7 or 8 people I mentioned, we all lived within 2 blocks of each other. There was so much talent pumping out of there. Like, it was insane. It was a great time. And I'm very thankful to Flush and Queens, Wasteland Stand Up, West Side, what up? Because they helped to make me who I was. You couldn't be a punk over there.
Right. Well,
you have to be funny, or you have to be tough, or you have to have something going for you because there was too much talent.
Right. I was just gonna say you had to have something. You had the talent. Were you the funny guy of the block, or was it meant? Yeah.
People always ask you that because I'm also tall, and I used to be a bouncer or whatnot. Right. So because of my height, though, the question I get, which I always find weird, they're like, "Did you get into a lot of fights?" I said, "No, people don't just want to fight you because you're big." I said, but I never really worried about any of that because I was the funny guy. Right. So, like, nobody was really trying to fight me. They was trying to link up with me for laughs and stuff like that. And that just carried over into radio at 17 because I was a big Howard Stern fan. And so that's what got me into radio when I realized I wasn't going to make it to the NBA. And so I did radio. My last radio gig was in Atlanta probably about 2 years ago, but I did radio for 20 years. I'm not done with it yet, but I'm shifting gears. I'm pivoting to put a little more focus on the comedy because I'm already established in radio.
Okay.
in my mind at least.
Go ahead. So so you're teenage Darnell, you're doing your radio thing, right? When did you realize that comedy was going to be a path for you? Were you, since you were young, like when did you realize that?
Well, I was always joking around, all right? So I was always silly, I was always funny. And I got, and one of my best gifts, like you always ask people, like, what would your superpower be? So my superpower is communicating from the boardroom to the hood dude. Like I can do both back to back meetings. So I always got along with a lot of people. So the networking was there because I was friendly. I'm always smiling. And, you really don't see that anymore.
Right.
I once had an ex-girlfriend not too long ago, and she was like, why are you always smiling? I said, that is the weirdest question I've ever heard in my life. What would you like me to be doing? She said, but you don't have to smile. I said, no, you don't have to smile all day. I'm thankful for everything, and I'm excited to be here.
Right.
And I even told her, not that I'm being buried, but if I was being buried, I said, just write on my tombstone, don't cry. Just know I had a good time.
Oh, I love that. And to her,
You're fired.
I'm glad because how dare you? Yeah, can I tell you though? I've been told before I'm very giddy. I'm always like a lively person, and it took me a long time to understand that about myself and not feel self-conscious. Others weren't comfortable with it. Like, oh, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. It's Tuesday. We're at work. Why is she so happy? Why is she so giddy? I'm like, well, hell, why not, right? And
Misery loves company, don't it?
I used to get that question asked a lot. Why are you so? I need to take what you're taking because you're always so happy. I smoke what you're smoking because you're always so happy. I'm like, no, I literally just woke up this morning. My kids are great. I'm at work. I'm making money. I like what I do, and here we are. So it's very interesting that there are people out there who really don't like that about other people.
I'm not even going to say people. I'm going to say it's a lot more than we think it is. It might be the vast majority.
Shoot.
Because people just don't take time out. I'm glad during the pandemic and over the last 2 or 3 years, like you start to see the self-help, the self-care, the self-love. I mean, it's a bit much, but I definitely think that you need those times. I know me. I know I work like an animal. Always have, always will. I got 2 kids. They don't care about none of this. So, yeah, I still got to do what I got to do over there. But not everything has to be a miserable experience. If you just take some time out and appreciate it. My kids, when they were little, oh, God, I hated it. It was the worst. Like, that's why I had a vasectomy 3 years ago. If that's TMI, might be TMI.
Not at all. Not
But
at all.
I said, I'm never going through that baby experience again.
Right.
And if I date somebody, her kids can't be any younger than mine because I'm not doing it. But as time went on, and they're older now, they're 9 and 4, about to be 5 in a couple of months. I enjoy the time with them because I know it's fleeting. I think so many people who walk around here and they're so miserable. And I'm just like, y'all acting like y'all gonna live forever.
Right.
I said, you're not. I said, you gotta enjoy. Look at all of this. I don't know if you curse on here, so I won't. Look at all this pretty stuff around here. Look at all of this. Look at all this. Huh?
I said, don't worry about it. Yes, you can. This is our time right now.
I said, look at all of this pretty shit out here. Come on, look at this. Look around. Yeah, you got off the subway. Okay, that sucks. But look, now there's flowers and it's the little things for me. Like I still at this age, I'm gonna be 40 this December. I still take time out, man. I appreciate going outside. I appreciate the air, the weather. Like I'm so simple. Even last year for my birthday. I usually do a solo trip once a year just to clear my mind and be away from everybody because that's one of the biggest things that hurt me initially with radio. It was just being around people all the time. And it was like, damn, when is there a moment for me? So now I take those moments very seriously. So like last year I went to Mexico to go see the pyramids for my birthday.
Oh, that's great. That's beautiful.
Yeah, the year before that I was in Brazil. I'm not flexing. I worked for an airline at the time, so it was all free. Let's be very clear here. I'm not caking. I want to be very clear here. Because the next thing I know, somebody be on my phone, yo, let me get 40 till Friday. Brother, it is Friday. What Friday? What Friday are you talking about?
Yeah, which one?
But I mean, I just try and live right, and I just try and do right by the people that do right by me. And even the people that do me wrong, I still do right by them, because I'm the type of person where not everybody's going to be a good person. But I can't let you take me out of my character either.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
I like
because
that.
because there's still going to be a loser in the morning. So
I'm
I'll be all right.
right. I'm okay.
Yeah, loser.
You took it right. I was just gonna say.
Get your losing ass away from me. We have winners here.
Right. Back up off me.
Hmm.
All right. Well, I wanted to get into your comedy journey, right?
Okay.
You said you were always, you were that funny guy. You were the life of the party all the time, or that's who you are, your personality. When did you say, you know what, I'm gonna pursue this? I'm gonna become a comedian.
I was 29 years old. I had just moved back in with my mother. Fantastic times.
Ooh.
I was in school. Like, one thing about me, so whenever I lose a job, like normally I work 3 or 4 jobs at a time, comedy included, writing, acting, whatever, a regular job at CVS, because I always believe in multiple sources of income, because I never want to be a slave to one paycheck. Because I've seen these people, they got one job, so that's something go left over there, they're ready to kill themselves. So I just went about it a different way. But at 29, I was unemployed. I had no job. So this is the second time that's happened to me in life. And every time that has happened to me, I would go back to school. So while I was in my mother's house this time, I was going for my bachelor's, and I really wasn't doing anything else. I didn't have any kids at that point. I hadn't even met my ex-wife yet. And my friends kept telling me, yo, you're really funny. You might as well just go do it. You've been doing it anyway. And I went out to this first show at the Broadway Comedy Club. And at the time, my mother was still working, right? So she worked for New York State Insurance. So my mother was one of those black moms. It was like, yo, she go to work, she come home, dinner, whatever. The day's over. Like, there was no extra activities. So when I had this first show, I invited her completely. Like, oh, she's not going to come anyway. Cool. Because my entire set was like jerking off on her couch. But then, to my surprise, who shows up? My mama to support. I'm like, this is why when people come out to a show, I'm like, yo, don't tell me you're coming. Just show up. Just show up, because I don't need the distraction. And to see her face in there, I mean, she enjoyed the show, and it was funny. Like, I did rip it up on that first set. And as soon as the show was over, like, it was like 7 or 8 of my buddies, and everybody said, yo, where's your mom? We all looking around. I said, oh, she at the house already. Don't even worry about it. But she did say she enjoyed herself. And I mean, ever since then, man, Broadway Comedy Club has actually been my home. I spent 10 years in Atlanta. And as soon as I came back to New York about 2 years ago, I went back to the Broadway Comedy Club. It was like nothing ever changed. They welcomed me with open arms. They said, what do you need? Let's go.
Well, that's
So
I love that.
that was a beautiful feeling.
Yes, absolutely. Because
See, but that only happens when you're good to people.
and I was just gonna say that. I was just gonna say they love you the same way you love them. You show love to them. So that's just, some people don't get that. Some people don't understand. If you're nice, if you're kind, just be a good person. People do
Not
that.
hard.
People
It's not
do that.
hard. And it's free. And it's free to be a good person, ladies and gentlemen. It takes work to be an asshole. I know. I should know.
It's too much energy.
You come see me on stage. You want to see me be an asshole? Come and see me on stage. I'll be at the Broadway Comedy Club October 29th, actually.
Oh, really? Okay. Y'all already know behind them. Listen, I might just go catch up. I love comedy shows. In my mind, I love interviewing comedians, because in my mind, I think that I'm a comedian myself. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to take this class. I'm going to take this course, and I'm going to stand on this. I'm going to do a set, and I'm going to do this. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I need to work a little more on this.
I'm going to tell you what. I'll tell you like I'll tell anybody else. As far as like your first set, just go and do it. Just go do it. Don't even overthink it. When you start your set, just say, hey, it's my first time out here. I'm just trying this out. You've already won. That's the easiest victory you're going to get in comedy. It's that first show. If you say that, that's going to be the easiest victory you're going to get. Everything else after that, you're going to have to work for it.
Oof. Yeah.
But it's fun, and I've enjoyed the journey.
Yeah. I love
It's
that.
taken me so many places. It's allowed me to meet so many people in my travels between comedy and radio. I mean, I can say some of my good friends right now are Monique. You know what I'm saying? Faison Love, Chris Tucker. I was about to say Chris Rock, and then met Chris Rock. Just through travels, man, and just keeping myself with the same demeanor and the same, faith. It hasn't steered me wrong yet. Now, yes, there were sometimes. You know what was? I'll tell you what. I'll give you an insider thing here. So when the pandemic kicked off, right? Like I was popping in Atlanta, and like that was supposed to be my breakout year, and then the pandemic comes, and I mean, that would probably crush a normal man. However, I just waited my time. I worked hard over the pandemic. I worked, I wrote and wrote and wrote. So by the time the pandemic was over and people were coming back out, I had 2 or 3 years worth of material.
Wow.
So now I've done the last 10 shows. I haven't even written a joke. I just bounce back to those and then think about it. And then I might use that and then run off into something else. Like I'm in a different lane now in comedy. Before everything was like write it, memorize it, nail it. Now it's like, yo, I know I'm funny. Just like you're a good podcaster. And once you have that confidence in you, bro, I did 3 sets this past week, and I mean I killed them. And people watched and they said, yo, your material's getting really good. I said, that wasn't even material. Another comedian had said something before I got on stage, and I liked it enough to bring it back up as a topic, and then ran off that, and then ran off into 10 different lanes. I said, but not one joke was written.
Damn.
I'm having fun. I'm having fun again. Right. I don't know if I stop, but I'm having more fun now because it's like the game has slowed down now. Mm-hmm. Wow, and I'm excited. I don't even know if I should be announcing this.
Yeah, so I'm betting.
Get excited, man. I like that. I like that for you. Come on. No, one thing about me, I want to see everybody win. That's you meet anybody that says anything else, they lie. They lie. I've always been the guy that want to see everybody win. People don't talk about this too much, but during my time in Atlanta, I gave most comedians their very first paycheck. Because people come out there and you're just trying to make it. You know what I'm saying? But I've been there, and it's like, yo, when do I start to see something from this? So here's the crazy part. I was so beloved by different people in Atlanta. Like I would go and rent out clubs, but most of the people would give the club to me for free. And then they'd be like, yo, you take the door, we take the bar. And that was just off the strength of being good to people. They didn't know if I could sell these rooms out. They didn't know what the turnout was going to be. I mean, there was one night specifically, I'll never forget it. It was like my first big attempt in Atlanta. It was at the Relapse Theater. That's like my Broadway comedy club in Atlanta. That's home away from home. And so the guy, Bob Wood, the owner there, mad cool. He said, I'm going to give you an opportunity. He said, you get one night, 3 shows. I said, well, damn, okay. I wasn't expecting all of that. I said, but okay. So for a long time before this, I had worked at a gay club, an LGBTQ plus club every Wednesday called Mix in the city. And I'm not gay. I'm a hetero. But I don't care. Like, jokes are jokes. And I mean, I'm not offended by anybody, as long as everybody's respectful. In any capacity, though. I don't care any capacity. I don't care what it is. But people made fun of me for a year for doing that show. They were like, are you trying to tell us something? Dudes be funny. Mm-hmm. So that one night, we had the 3 shows. The first night was all white people. The first show, because they were all on the same night. So the first show, the early show, 7 o'clock, was all white people, probably about 60% full. The second show was all black people, probably about 90% full. The late night show, 10:30, whenever that was, 100% gay, 100% packed. Wow. I said, laugh at me now. And I had been working there so long, I had become like an honorary LGBTQ plus member. So I could go on, and it gave me the room to now make gay jokes, and people didn't feel offended because they knew the work that I put in, and they knew where my heart was.
Right. See,
So
listen.
I tell everybody, stay true to yourself. I mean, just try and be the best person you can. Not every day is a great day, but it doesn't mean you can't be a great person.
Right. That's what's up. I really love you've been through
Mhm.
a lot. You've been through like just different parts
Uh,
of your life have been very different, very interesting. I love that.
I'm having a good time. I'm having a good time, and it doesn't stop.
Right. It should never stop. It should never stop.
Why? Why? People be like, you have kids, it stops. No, it doesn't. I have fun with the kids. What do you mean? I mean, the people are crazy. Here's when I realized people were crazy. I'm going to do a set about this probably this weekend about how, because I see so many comedians go up on stage and talk about, oh, my kids, my kids. My kids are the greatest thing that ever happened to me.
Mm.
They gave me an excuse to get out of everything.
It's true.
Everything. Oh, baby sick. Huh? No, the old one's sick now.
Right.
We all got COVID. These little
Yeah.
nasty bastards.
That's what I always say. Oh, kids are nasty. I can't go into work today. Kids are nasty. I mean, she
Yeah, especially that first week of school. Come on, it's like you can see the plague entering your home.
I literally, I just want to Lysol the little one every time she comes home. She's like, "Oh my god, we had so much fun in school." I'm like, "Let's go wash it. Just go take a shower. Just go bathe."
I just gave them a bubble bath, and my mom is here, so my mom was like, "Oh, here, I use my watermelon kiwi bubble bath." I said, "These girls need Dawn. You understand me? They need Dawn. They're getting funky. They're like ducks that you just pull out of an oil spill. They need Dawn, Mom."
And they go to school in the Heights, Mama. They need Dawn.
They need Dawn.
Yes.
But I'm super happy about these kids, man. My oldest one just got accepted into the Gifted and Talented program up here, so that's super dope.
Oh, congrats.
Thank you. And the little one is completely on her way, and they're huge, both of them.
I mean,
You're
6'5"? Is that what
6'2". 6'2".
I mean,
Yeah, but come on, the 9-year-old is 5 feet tall. The 4-year-old is 4.5 feet tall. That's what scares me.
Stop.
Yo, don't make me bring him in here.
Nah, I'm intimidated. I'm
intimidated.
I'm 5'2", and I'm a whole 37-year-old. I'm 5. That's terrible.
No, the little one beat you down. She's a little violent gangster.
Yeah.
The soft one is sensitive. So if somebody messed with the older one is sensitive. So somebody messed with the older one. And I said, "Listen, baby." So now we have boxing classes in the house. I was like, "Baby, you gotta hit her." She's like, "I don't really want to fight." The little one says, "I'll hit her."
Oh.
Who is she? I said, and they got 2 little cousins in the school. There's a little gang running around here. I love it. I'm with the shits. I'm just as ignorant.
Right. That's how you gotta be. You be like, "Oh, well."
You remember when Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high?
Huh?
Yeah, I don't do that. I take the same goddamn road you on. I'll beat your kids. Bring your daddy. I can't wait. I'll wait for crazy shit to happen at the school.
We all equals out here.
Yeah, I don't care. Okay, no, what? Would you really hit a woman first and then bring him back? Because he's going to need some motivation to get over here. I ain't seen this kid's father all year. Right. So he's going to need some extra motivation.
Oh my goodness. All right, I have a question. Have you ever been, you said you've never been booed. Have you ever been heckled, or have you ever had like somebody in the audience who's just like, "Oh,
Pause that question for a second. Tell your husband we figured it out.
We making money.
Yeah. So you were asking me a question about being heckled. What was the end of that question?
So I just wanted to, like, if anybody in the audience, because you said you've never been booed or anything, but hecklers or somebody in the audience who just took a joke way too serious and got all mad and upset, has that ever happened?
In 12 years, what do you think? It happens.
I'm
I
gonna say,
wouldn't recommend it for people because I don't want that for your viewers. I don't want that for your listeners. I don't want them to come out there and think, because I'll tell you what, there was one time where somebody started to heckle a little bit. And I mean, I wasn't having a great night, but I wasn't feeling great either. No excuses.
mhm,
But once that person heckled me, oh, you just put a whole battery in my back.
right.
The whole show became about them. And now I'm on fire. And I'm not holding back because I'm never rude to the audience. Like I might bring the audience in to make a joke about me, but I
Mhm.
never try and disrespect people that are paying to come and see me because that seems ridiculous. I'm not there yet. And I don't think I'll ever be there where I want to disrespect people that are paying to see me because I know what it was like when nobody was paying to see me. But this one time, I can't even remember the name of the club. It was definitely somewhere in Georgia. And I mean, I was telling my jokes, and I just hear in the back a voice, "You're not even funny, bro."
Ooh,
I said, "You got jokes?" He's like, "I got jokes." I said, "Well, come on up here, brother." He came on stage. He roasted my ass for 10 minutes. It was so bad. By the time he was done, I was like, you know what? Here, you got it. Host the rest of the show. And I left. I went home. I said, y'all don't need me yet. I didn't come here for this abuse.
right.
But then after the show, they did say, I finished my hosting duties, of course. But then I had another show right after. But the young lady who was over the event, she's like, oh, man, I wish you would have stuck around. Everybody was looking for you after the show after that. I was like, for what? More abuse? What are we doing right now? So, no,
Oh,
I got to go. That's one thing about a comedian. If you ever have a bad show, a bomb or whatever, get in your car, drive to the next open mic that's available, and do that mic.
really?
That way you keep that L off you, because that's tough. That drive home when you crying and alone, ain't nobody clapping, ain't nobody been clapping all night. You better get out there and get some laughs, because that'll crush you. Sit on that for 2 or 3 days, you want to kill yourself.
Yeah, listen, that definitely be me. I'd be like, wait, so I'm not as funny as I thought? Nobody's laughing at me? Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right. Yeah, I can see it. I'll go on all night.
yeah, like it gets to that, like, and so that's something that came with maturity, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause I used to be crushed. Like, not that I was getting booed, but if it was just quiet, but it taught me something too, though, because my jokes can be very dark. They can be thinkers, and a lot of times when I go to these dark places, there is a moment of awkward silence. I got that from those moments of having to hear the silence. So now I use that, and I'm comfortable in that lane. And so once that silence comes, people don't even know. I got you right where I want you, right
Okay.
where I want you, and now I'm about to turn it up.
Oh, I love that. You flipped it and reversed it. So now you use it to your
Hmm.
advantage.
Yeah.
Okay.
No weapon formed against me shall prosper.
Love it. I love it. Well, I feel like comedy, it comes from like personal places, right? Like things you've gone through, things you've experienced, things you've seen. And to me, I find the funny in everything. When I wake up, when I go to work, just anything that I know is going to make me upset, like taking the damn train every morning. I'm like, all right, you know
Mm.
why this is funny? Or you know why this person looks funny? Like I always try to find the humor in everything.
Yeah,
Do
you
you,
got to make it work.
but do you feel like is that part of your creative process? You use like a lot of like things personally that
I'm
happen
gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you what. The very first video where we connected that you liked, I think I was in. I think it was a dark comedy club, and it just said comedy club behind it or something like that.
think you were in Harlem.
Oh,
Harlem.
Harlem Nights.
Yes, yes. I think it was Harlem
Oh,
Night.
yeah, that was a terrible show. Uh, that's why you got that 30-second snippet, baby.
Listen, but can I tell you that 30-second grabbed me? I was like, oh, okay,
Mm.
excuse me. Okay, let's go.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you had seen some of my quality work.
Well, I went down the rabbit hole afterwards. It was that one video that I was like, oh, he's a comedian. I looked at it.
Mm,
That was really funny. And then I started scrolling through your
mm,
stuff. I was like, oh, okay, he's funny. And I didn't really even know if you were from New York. Because you have like so I was like, is he here in New York or I'm
mm.
not so sure. So yeah.
You act like you got people coming up into the studio, and you got a nice setup. So I went through some of your videos too, right? I do my research too. So I was looking at like the beginnings of your podcast to
Mhm.
where it is now. Baby girl, you on your way up. I see it. That used to be a blank wall behind you.
It sure was.
and then the T-shirt came,
Right.
right? And then the background started to come. I was like, this is the type of thing I like to watch. I like to watch people progress. I love watching people's journey because that means something to me because that's my journey. You know what I'm saying? Like, and people don't understand when we're doing something like this, whether it's a podcast or a comedian, the unwavering belief that you have to have in yourself because it's almost egomaniacal, really, because what you're saying is, I'm so important, and what I have to say is so important that everybody should be listening to this, or everybody deserves to hear this. So there is an ego thing in there, but I'm funny. So what are we doing now?
Thank
Like,
you.
what are we talking about?
Thank you. That's one of my very good friends. Shout out T Money. I love you so much. She's one of the ones, like one of my biggest supporters from the very beginning, other than of course my family. And she always used to say, because I do solo podcasts, I have guests and stuff, but it's really just
Hmm,
me.
okay.
And goes, it's crazy because you have to talk to yourself in front of a camera or like, whatever notes you have if it's just audio. And then not only do you make yourself laugh, but you also got to make everybody else believe that what you're saying, and what you're feeling. She's like, that's crazy. She's like, I can never do that. I can never just sit down speaking to a mic and be like, oh, yeah, what I'm saying makes sense. She's like, but you do it every week. I'm like, I do. She's like, okay, girl, I don't know if you
Hmm.
crazy. She's like, I
Well,
don't
you might be crazy, but I can tell you, I think it's easier than performing in front of a room full of people.
know.
And I think most people would tell you that because what is that? The number one biggest fear in humans is speaking in front of people. I'm like, there's
Yeah.
nuclear bombs, there's wars going on, there's AIDS. What are we talking about right now? Dracula. I think I saw Bigfoot the other day. You're worrying about speaking in front of a bunch of other people that you're probably never going to see in your life. Like, I get up on that stage, man. I don't care what y'all talking about. I was at a narcotics. Oh, you know what? I'm lying. I got booed. I got booed.
Uh-oh.
I got booed. Somebody, I don't know who. Oh no, this guy named Furious. Furious Style. That's my guy. Well, he booked me for a Narcotics Anonymous comedy show. Now, for anybody who knows me, first of all, my narcotics not anonymous. Let's start there. And secondly, I don't care what these people went through. My jokes are my jokes. And it all went left because I was talking to this young lady in the front row. I asked her a question. And she's just staring at me. Then she started looking around. I was like, you're the only one I'm looking at. I said, oh, she must still be on drugs. And I tell you, the crowd turned on me. And then I doubled down. I said, y'all are too uptight for junkies. I don't even like this. I haven't been invited back.
Oh, I wonder why.
No, and I won't be. Listen, I'm not for everybody. I got to figure out my niche. That's what I keep trying to tell people. Like, especially if you're doing comedy or podcasts, whatever. People are so worried about building the audience and trying to cater to everybody. But my thing is, do you? Your audience will develop itself, and that way you never have to worry about being anything but you. It's the easiest thing to do on earth. A lot of people can go out there and tell jokes. Can you go out there and tell my jokes like Darnell does? And so I tell everybody, just be yourself. It's the best thing you can be. It's the only thing you can be the best at in the world, hands down, without having to go to Harvard, without having to go through Olympic trials, without having to train from when you were 8. You were born with this.
Yeah.
Love it. Use it.
Yeah. For a long time when I started podcasting, at least the first year, it was difficult for me because I'm like, I have to censor myself because I don't want to get anybody mad. I'm like, I need to be PC as PC as I always
Mhm.
can all the time. And then eventually I was just like, well, that's not who I am. That's why if you listen to my very first podcast, I sound like a kid riding a tricycle. I'm just like, but then afterwards I'm like, wait, but this is my platform. I can do and say whatever I want and be myself. Because if people are gonna like it, they're gonna like it. If they don't, then I weed out the ones that I know I don't need. I know I don't need them to like me. So that
I
is
saw an early podcast of you, and I was like, how old is she? 12? I was like, I know the Dominicans age well, but I gotta check. I have to call my lawyer. Is this okay? Is this all right? I don't want to get in like R. Kelly territory. I don't know what the hell going on over here. And
Right.
thank God now. Then I'm peeing in the bathroom. See,
It's too late.
look at God. Look at
It's-
God.
Thank God. Well, you know what? R. Kelly, he's performing in prison right now. You know, he's selling out tickets and whatnot. So I
I
don't know.
wouldn't be shocked. I mean, think about it. What a great bonus. R. Kelly's in your prison. What? The entertainment lunchtime just changed.
Lunchtime hits different. Everybody waits for lunchtime.
Did you cancel R. Kelly?
I said I did cancel him only because after watching Surviving R. Kelly, it was hella weird for me. I was just like, that's weird.
I will play R. Kelly with my windows down, driving down the street, blaring. I'm gonna tell you something, because here's my thing. I'm not canceling R. Kelly. I'm not canceling Michael Jackson. I'm not saying that I agree with, the actions behind these men, but you take both of them away, that's my whole childhood. What are we talking about? The hits were still hits. I told a joke when it first happened, and everybody was like, cancel him, cancel him. I said, listen, for all the ladies in this room right now talking about cancel R. Kelly, cancel him. I said, if Step in the Name of Love came on right now, your asses would be dancing. And everybody's like, Step, Step. I said, you see? So stop it. Stop it. And I said, secondly, and this is to our black and brown people, that comes the Latinos, Latinas, the black, all of us. Okay, what up?
Right.
Listen, we got to stop canceling people. We have to, because this happens, and it's just a way to pit black people against black people. I haven't seen Elvis being canceled yet.
And he did. And he's done some stuff.
Big racist too. I ain't seen the Catholic Church canceled yet.
Thank you.
So why is it only us that cancel ourselves? So I said, nah, that's a mindset that's being trickled in from the outside. I said, well, I'm bumping R. Kelly today, tomorrow. MJ, I don't care. Let me show you something. I was going to put this up, but I didn't have a nail. So it's a Michael Jackson. I got the whole thing, and it moves. It moonwalks with you.
Stop.
Yes.
I love Michael Jackson. I'm sorry. Like,
if we have to sacrifice an entire school for the King of Pop, I'm okay with that. I mean, he made Billie Jean. Thriller. He made Thriller.
He did. Like, Thriller was not only a music video. Thriller was a movie. It was a
movie.
It was a short film. You can't tell me anything different.
Yeah. So we have to lose one school. Hey, it is what it is. It's the King of Pop. I wouldn't do that to Justin Bieber, but MJ, come on, we're not talking about the same things. And now Drake actually just tied Michael Jackson for the #1 records by a solo male artist. We might have to kill him, because I can't have him passing MJ.
Yes, he just surpassed that. And Drake is very interesting to me. I don't know, it's something about him. He has a lot of feminine energy, and I'm just like, Drizzy, Drake, what are we doing?
That's Hollywood though. That's why I sit here, so I got the comedy thing going, now I got the acting thing starting to bubble. But I told the guy, the producer, the executive director, I said, listen, I've heard a lot of wild things about Hollywood. I'm letting you know right now. I'm not dressing up like a woman. We're gonna start there. Okay? There'll be no anal. If I can't make it on my own, I don't care.
Boundaries.
Right, boundaries.
Boundaries. It's so funny you said that, because I thought the same, the stuff I'm working with too, and I'm just like, this ain't gonna change me.
Don't let them have you out there getting a BBL, liposuction. Next thing I know, it's a whole nother woman.
Right. I'm gonna be podcast and be like this. My lips are gonna be crazy. No, that's yeah.
And I'm gonna be just sitting here stuck looking at you like,
really?
What happened? You got into a car accident? You got a stroke?
What's wrong? Why are your cheeks so plumpy?
That husband left you? What's going on? Is he hitting you? Is he hitting you?
No. Let's talk behind the scenes.
We need some help. This is a crop of help. This isn't even a podcast.
Right. You blinking? Are you blinking?
What?
Is that
Yeah, okay. All right. Take the call.
right? Let's call the peoples.
Get them in here. We're gonna need them.
Well, my question. This is the highlight question of the
Okay.
episode. Comedy clicks, right? Are they a thing? Do they exist? Do they affect the comedy culture? Do you love them? Do you hate them? Let's talk about it. Mi gente, I hope you're enjoying part 1 of 2 of Chillin with comedian Darnell Morris. Please tune in to the It's Me Shell podcast next week to part 2 to listen to us talk about the clicks and talk about what advice he would give to the aspiring comedians of the world. Don't forget to follow your girl on Instagram at itsmi.chelle. Click the link on the bio and it'll take you to all my other socials. You already know what to do. All the behind the scenes will be on Patreon. And trust me, there's some good ones. So make sure you check them out. I love y'all. Peace.
I see you. It's me. 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 Shell.